John chapter 6, verses 1 through 14. Many of you may be familiar with the text. It's the text where Jesus feeds 5,000 men. Some would say that women and children were not included in the head count, so it could have been easily 20,000 people easily that Jesus fed on this particular day. And there is no doubt that something amazing happened in feeding those 5,000 people. It was one of the miracles of miracles. In reading the text, one would say, hey, there's no doubt feeding 5,000 people jumps out at us, jumps off the pages here. And we would take that and run with it. It's a sermon builder, right? But when we begin to look at the conversation that happened before this miracle, Jesus poses a question to Philip, and he basically says, he looks out and sees all of these people coming and poses a question to Philip, where in the world can we get food to feed this many people? And if anybody would have known where to find this amount of food at, it would have been Philip. Philip lived about 10 miles away from where this miracle was getting ready to go down at. So Philip definitely knew, who door to go knock on and say, look, I need to feed X amount of people. But in Philip's Rolodex, there was nobody that can provide that kind of food at a drop of a hat like that. There was no one available. So Philip goes into his pocket, he pulls out his money, counts his money, and says, look, Father, I have X amount of dollars here, but it's not even enough to give them just a little bit. So Philip puts his money back in his pocket. I'm not going to go knock on anybody's door. Who knows? That miracle could have been 10 miles away. Who knows if Philip would have took out that money and said, Lord, look, this is all that I have. Use it. If you can make something happen with this, then make it happen. But he chose not to do that. He chose not to walk those 10 miles to go see who can provide. And he chose to take his money and put back in his pocket. But Andrew says, and Philip's brother says, hey, there's this kid that I saw earlier, basically, that has, 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And immediately Jesus says, have the people to sit down, basically get prepared to eat. I know one of my favorite things I would love to hear from my grandmother when we go back up to Monroe to the country was, it's supper tea time, something to eat time. That was my favorite time of the day, to go sit down at the table you're getting ready to eat. And so therefore, Jesus immediately says, have the people to sit down. It's already done. It's getting ready to go down here. And for me, the blessing is in this young kid saying, basically, take what I have, use it. I may not understand how you're going to do it, Lord, but this is all that I have. I only have 5 loaves and 2 fish. You take it. You say you can make this happen with it. Then you go right on ahead and make it happen. I'm going to sit back and watch. This kid was willing to take all that he had and give it to Jesus Christ. And Jesus did some spectacular things with what this kid was willing to give. And if we give Jesus a yes, if you give him a yes to your time, to your ability, to your resources, there's no telling what he can do with what you're willing to give. If you take the first step in making yourself available for Jesus Christ and giving what you have to be used for the growing and the strengthening of the kingdom of God, there is no doubt about it that God can make wonders happen, that he can make miracles happen, that he can, I can only imagine the things that will come from you giving him that one yes. Yes, Lord, take what I have. Yes, Lord, I'll go. Yes, Lord, send me. Yes, God, whatever you want me to say. Your way, your will, and your desire, Lord. I'll give you a yes today. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't know how you're going to fix it. I don't know how you're going to, move this to that and move that to this. But Lord, here it is. Take what I have and use it for the strengthening and the growing of your kingdom. That's all that he asks for.